Just by your life. Jesus, Jesus, just by his life. Because the believers in Acts chapter 17, Acts 17 verse 6, the believers were actually considered as troublemakers. So these people who have caused confusion, because the devils, they were changing lifestyles. That's why Christianity changes people's way of living. Yeah. Christianity changes people's way of living. You can't say, we need to do. You can't be copying the lifestyle of the world. The world must be the one, and the world admires the way believers live. You don't need to be like them to win them over. By your life, just by your life. They'll come to you and say, hey, what is it about you? You're so much different. The Bible says, they cried out, said these people have turned the world upside down. They have also come our way. Just by your presence. May you turn the world upside down. Turn the world upside down by your presence. By you being just appearing. You cause commotion. That's why when the apostles preached, they were changing the whole households. Imagine the whole households. And the Bible says, you shall be saved, you and your what? Your whole household. They were converting the whole household. The whole household. In Acts chapter 10, Cornelius, the whole of his household. The Bible says he used to give and what? His whole household. Cornelius. If you read Acts chapter 10, verse 10 to 43, and Acts 11, 14, the whole household. When the Lord showed himself, the whole household came to Jesus because of the power of the church. Because of the lifestyle of the church. The whole household. No one was left out. The whole household. In Acts chapter 16, when Paul ran into Lydia, in Acts chapter 16, verse 15, can we read that? The Bible says the whole household. The whole household. The whole household. When she and the members of her household were baptized, she invited us to her home. If you consider me a believer, you see, if you consider me a believer in the Lord, she said, come and stay at my house. And she persuaded us. In most of the places I go, I have people really wanting me to stay in their homes. Yeah. I have people wanting me to stay in their home. I don't need to ask somebody, say, can I come and stay in your house? No, I have invitations all the time. I have invitations. I just have to say no. You know why? Because Jesus says, don't move from house to house. Have you ever read that? When they were going, Jesus said to them, don't move from house to house. Because it has its own things. Believe me, when I travel, I have people wanting me to stay in their homes. Some of them have some of the exceptional homes, really exceptional homes. The temptations are really there. To say, yes, when I come on the next trip, I'm coming to live in your house. But Jesus said, don't move from house to house. Because chileta mulomo. They begin to, when you move from the other house say, what kind of food does he like? Stuff like that. So there's got to be some wisdom. So the whole household, in Acts chapter 16, verse 31 to 34, the Philippian jailer, the whole household was saved. In Acts 18, 7 to 8, Justus, the whole household was saved. So by their lifestyle, the church That's why they moved from house to house breaking bread. They continued in the apostles' doctrine. And the Bible says because of their lifestyle, the presence of God in Acts chapter 2 verse 42, the presence of God was so powerful. And people just started coming on their own to the church. By their lifestyle, they were living the Jesus culture. Living the Jesus life. The life of Jesus should be seen in the church. Should be seen among the people. Acts chapter 2 from verse 42, they continued in the apostles' doctrine. Oh yes, they did. Let's go number second one. Let's go to the second one. What's the time? Second one. Through his death, Jesus destroyed all the power of the evil one. Through Jesus' death, when he hung on the cross, he destroyed all the power of the evil one. He did. So that's why we have delegated authority. Jesus did it all. He accomplished the work. Through his death, Jesus destroyed all the power. Not some, all the power of the evil one. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 14, right there. Through his death, Jesus destroyed physical death. He destroyed physical death. And physical death is separation of the inner man from the body. That's physical death. When Jesus hung on the cross of Calvary, he destroyed physical death. So you don't really need to fear physical death. And physical death is the separation of the inner man, the spirit and soul, from the body. When a Christian dies, his spirit and his soul goes to be with Jesus. And the body goes to the grave to await the day of resurrection. When a non-believer dies, his soul goes to Gehenna. Goes to Hades, to hell, to await the final judgment, because the Bible says death and hell, they are together. Death and hell shall be